March 8, 1782. In the heartland of the Ohio country, at the Moravian mission in Gnadenhutten, a harrowing event took place. A band of 160 Pennsylvania militiamen committed an act of unprecedented brutality. 96 Christian Indians, 39 children, 29 women, and 28 men were caught in the storm of violence. Unarmed, praying, singing, they knelt, oblivious to the fate that awaited them. From behind, their skulls were hammered with mallets, their lives extinguished in a blink. Despite the heinous nature of the massacre, there was no official punishment or legal action taken against the Pennsylvania militiamen involved.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. We're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as the Israelite foreigners, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Today, again, is yet another installment of our camp series called For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother Jacob, where we go into the historical atrocities that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man who is called the wicked in the scriptures according to Malachi 1 and 4, the terrible atrocities that he has committed against the children of Israel, both northern and southern kingdom. All right, but before we get into this article that's on the screen, I want to audibly declare fair use, as we did use a YouTube short as part of this video, and declaring fair use according to the reasons stipulated therein of the Copyright Act of 1976. All right, so without further ado, we'll get into our opening scripture.
Book of Obadiah, verse 10. It says, For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Yep, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Now, ultimately, the Lord is speaking to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, because ultimately, that is Jacob's older brother. When you go back to the story in Genesis 25th chapter, all right, they were twins, and Esau came out first and Jacob came out second. You see, but we understand that this hatred, it goes all the way back, okay, to that time period.
Yep.
Because even when Isaac was getting ready to go back to the spirit world, Esau had purpose in his heart that he would slay his brother Jacob.
Yep.
You see, and we've seen that hatred carry out throughout all the generations, man. All right, most notably, all right, slavery. All right, but there's a lot of other different things. We've gone into a lot of things in this series that we've been dealing with. All right, but ultimately we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that we don't know about. But as the scriptures say, hey, the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. We read Revelation 18th chapter, her being Babylon, right? So ultimately, we understand that the Lord has all of Esau's sins are in remembrance, okay? And ultimately, Esau, he's getting ready to reap his wickedness, man.
Yep.
And the Lord is going to recompense him according to all his wickedness, man.
All right, yeah, and it says, read that scripture again.
Yep. It says, Obadiah, verse 10, For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
And that's what's happening right now. Their shame is covering them. Everything that they've done in history is coming up. It's like everybody knows who the real enemy is. Even though it's still propagandized that Jake is the worst thing since creation, but everybody is seeing that the so-called white man is truly the devil of this planet, and you seeing it right now with this Trump guy when it says they're going to be cut off forever, and that's ultimately what is going to happen. All right, we know through the scriptures, once this kingdom is translated, they're going into slavery. You quoted Revelation 18. They're going into slavery twice as long and twice as hard, and then ultimately, as it says in the same chapter from the opening scripture, Obadiah 18, they're going to be rounded up, and done away with forever, to never exist again, ever.
Praise
All right, go ahead.
It's the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And the spirit of his mouth is the prophets. You know, as the scriptures say, the Lord doeth nothing; he revealeth his secrets unto the prophets.
Service the prophets.
Yep, and serves the prophets. And then in Luke 1:68-70, he says he is spoken by the mouth of the prophets since the beginning. Okay, so yeah, they're being revealed and being exposed, and they can't stand it. You know, they want to say that the immigrants is a real problem, but no, it's these prophets out on the highways and byways. And if you notice, you know, as these immigrants are protesting, you know, you don't see any cops in riot gear in full force like they are when stuff happens to Jake. Their target is Jake. All right.
Yep. Last verse. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
And that him is Esau Edom, the so-called white man who is the devil, according to the scriptures. You know, the wicked, according to Malachi 1:4. Yeah, this devil has, you know, he's really about to show now, because as the scriptures say, Revelation 12:12, he knowing he had a short time, he's going to come down with great wrath, and even some of his own people are starting to feel it. You know, which you know, it looks good to us because we know that, you know, the time is in hand for our kingdom to come. All right.
And the thing is, when you go into that word devil in Revelation 12, and you go down, I believe it's the last definition, it says a metaphor for someone, roughly paraphrasing, who acts the part of Satan or the devil.
Yep.
And that perfectly lines up with the scripture that the brother Baraj just brought out, because it says what, whose work is after the coming of Satan. You see, so that lets us know that there is a man on a planet Earth, all right, who plays the role of the wicked, all right. And when you do the process of elimination, all right, it could be none other than Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay. Yep. But this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. It says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered." You see, so this is dealing with Esau Edom, the so-called white man, all right, being exposed. Right? It says, "The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." You see, so ultimately all of Esau's wickedness is coming out, and you see it a lot of times where Esau tries to slander, you know, people from other nations, and what do? They fire back and dig up Esau's dirt. Well, you so-called white people, y'all know him for doing this back in year X, Y, and Z. You see, so ultimately, Esau Edom, as we're speaking, man, really he has no respect amongst the nations, man.
Nope.
Okay, and that shame is being seen. You see, the Lord is turning our Esau's glory into shame. All right, which is why, really, man, in the grand scheme of things, man, none of the nations really respect them.
Nope.
You know?
And you're seeing that now. Look at what Canada and Mexico is doing. You know, that NAFTA agreement that has been in progress for a long time. The free trade, North American free trade, has been in process for the longest time. Okay, they said they want to start charging them tariffs. Canada and Mexico said, okay, we're going to charge you, but also we're going to go to China. You know? So, yeah, there's no more respect for the whore, and it shouldn't be. All right? Okay, so with that, we're going to get into the article, which is, you know, the title of it is on the screen. We'll put a link to this article in the description box of the video. All right, it's from EJI, A History of Racial Injustice. All right, and it's titled, "Nearly 100 Indigenous People Massacred by Pennsylvania Militiamen." It says, on March 8, 1872, Pennsylvania militiamen and frontiersmen murdered 96 pacifists. Somebody hold that definition. Pacifist indigenous people, most of whom were members of the Delaware tribe, in the village of Gnadenhutten, near present-day New Philadelphia, Ohio. You got it?
Yeah, I'm grabbing it.
Okay. Pacifist.
The definition for pacifist, it says a person who believes that war and violence are unjustifiable. And that says, holding the belief that war and violence are unjustifiable. It says synonyms are peace lover, conscientious objector, peacemaker, appeaser. That's pretty much it.
So
yeah, and one thing, and when he just said, Yahweh Shai said, "Blessed are the peacemakers," right? Just kind of showing that the spirit of this native tribe, to show you that they had the spirit, that to show that they were the children of the Lord, right?
Because you know, naturally, man, the nation of Israel, they really not no shit stories.
No.
If we being honest, man.
Yeah.
And that's really Esau, starting stuff, with Israel because of that perpetual hatred.
So when we go further into this story, you'll find that it just stated that these people already had the ideology or the mindset of we don't like war, we don't want to do anything with fighting or war, and that we pretty much just want peace amongst people, all right? And so now you're showing the type of mindset of a man that will come against this type of people when we read further. Go ahead, what you got?
Just real quick, 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and verse 42, it says, "For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit. And hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm." You see? And that goes into the violence that, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, has committed against Jacob, man. Are you 12 tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 11th chapter, that's dealing with the ancient Roman Empire, but who were the Romans back then? Edomites.
Yep.
Who are we under today? Edomites.
Yep.
See, so these are the same people coming back, man.
Which is the revived Roman Empire, according to scriptures. But just making a point, they murdered a peaceable people, and just to further prove the scripture, Yahweh Shah said that I have a sheep that are not of this fold. He was talking about the northern kingdom that was already over here in the Americas. And what did he call them in 2nd Ezra 13?
Peaceable multitude.
A peaceable multitude. All right? He called them a peaceable multitude. So these are some devils here. All right? These people, they didn't like war. And, it's going to get into the story on what they did.
Oh, that's why when Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it goes into like the nature of Esau. It says, whose desire is as hell and is as death.
Yep.
You see, so wherever Esau, Edom, the so-called white man goes, death follows him.
Yep.
And ultimately, that goes back to him having the blessing of the sword, man.
Yep.
Hey, I have this made me, I thought about this because because they push out, about bullying, right? And I just looked up. This spirit had me look up bully because he has the power in his hand and he's run the whole world. He's been a complete bully, to the nation. And looked up bully. It says a blistering, browbeating person. It says especially one who is habitually cruel, right? And we say that the scriptures talk about envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, for the froward is an abomination to the Lord. And you look at that froward, it talks about being habitually disobedient, right? And of course, he's habitually cruel, insulting and threatening to others who are weaker, smaller, or in some way vulnerable. So you're going to see that these people they didn't have no might in their hands. They had no guns or nothing to fight back. We know that his blessing is a sword, and so he has the power. What the scripture say, when the power is in thy hands, right? And then it says to treat someone in a cruel, insulting, threatening, or aggressive fashion, to act as a bully toward. So these violence against our brother Jacob is clearly showing you like who the true bully, who the wicked is. They will take a complete advantage of you in your most vulnerable time.
What's that
right?
Hebrew word for bully?
Matazaya Kwa.
Hey, you know what?
I was thinking about that when you brought up bully. If the elder I see this,
inside joke. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, all right. We'll get back into the article. It says the members of the Pennsylvania militia, led by Captain David Williamson, were seeking revenge for alleged raids by Native Americans in the area. And this is a recurring thing. It's always alleged, nothing definite, which means a lot of times they did it. Problem, reaction, solution. They caused it. All right, and that's what we find out. All right, it says they arrived at the houses of a group of the Delaware who were not responsible for the alleged raids and had remained neutral in the conflict between the U.S. and the British. Nevertheless, Captain Wilson's men feigned friendliness, disarmed the members of the tribe, and confined the indigenous men in one building and the women and children in another. Divide and conquer. It says the soldiers held a vote on whether to execute those captured. Out of over 100 soldiers, all but a handful voted in favor of killing them. Says
Precept.
go ahead.
It's the book of let me jump up one. I always like to go up just in case real quick.
I got one too.
Verse 8. We're just going straight to the point. He sitteth in the lurking places. Psalms 10 and 8.
I'm in two.
You're at 2?
Yeah.
Psalms 10 and 2?
Well, that's what I was going. You might as well pull it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Psalms 10 and 2 says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let him be taken in the devices that he have imagined."
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead, yeah.
it gets so bad. You know, this is I think our 91st will be our 91st video, and you see the redundant pattern, how they just just sit there and just persecute us just because they can, you know. And it's saying, hey, you know, let this stuff fall upon them, and it is.
Quick precept.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth.
Yeah, he says for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. You know, we gonna kill him, even though we know that they didn't do anything. We gonna kill him. And he said he blessed the covetous. You know, that's the thing. He blessed those that are greedy, and that's what it was. They didn't have what they wanted, so what they do, they take, rob, not kill, rob, and spoil the peaceable people. Okay, which is, you know, hey, like I said, the Lord abhorreth, or the Lord detests. All right.
Hold on, I think I got something. Keep going real quick. Read the next. You got it in front of you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is not at all in his thoughts. So this dude does not consider. They call themselves Christians. They know it's a life for life when you murder people like that, okay? But don't consider it. You know, they don't think it's going to happen to them because of the powers in their hand, as we were just talking about earlier.
And you know what the reason why they don't consider Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is because ultimately when you go into the mindset of Esau Edom, so-called white man, or he has a God complex. He thinks himself to be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Yep.
All right, Esau Edom, so-called white man, thinks that there's none other than him. Okay, but we know, right, that in the coming days that also like the Lord did with ancient Pharaoh, how the Lord hardened ancient Pharaoh's heart, that the Lord could show his power. The Lord is doing the same thing all over again with modern day Pharaoh, Esau Edom, so-called white man. You see, because everything, because we quoted it earlier, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Okay, but Esau Edom's heart, his mind is so hardened that he believes that he's got it off his own strength, his own wisdom, which you can read about that in Isaiah the 10th chapter. All right, but the Lord gave you all these things for prophecy's sake, man. You know, and the Lord's getting ready to strip it from you.
Yep, let me bring this out real quick because this is going into when you said he lurked privily, right? Will you read that again in 2? Wait, was it 2? Oh no, my point is down.
Yeah, your verse 8. Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay.
So,
That's something quick too.
Go
ahead.
This is Proverbs 26 and 27. It says, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him." You see, so Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is setting up snares, right, and traps for the nation of Israel. Because when we read stories like this, like you brought it earlier, problem,
Action solution.
Problem, reaction,
yeah,
solution.
throw out a problem, reaction, solution. So Esau Edom, he had set plans in stone, all right, to make it look like it was Jake's fault, but meanwhile he was the mastermind behind it.
Yep.
See, and he's trying to make excuse to do what? To kill off the nation of Israel. Okay, but we in the times where ultimate aid, because you're not slick in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yashad. The Lord sees everything you're doing. So all that wickedness, man, all that deceit, all that treachery is getting ready to come back upon you, man.
Yep. Can you read that again?
Yep, Proverbs 26 and 27, it says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
And that backs up that part where it says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
Yep.
Okay. Psalm chapter 10, just verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. And that's exactly what he did here. Just like you said, he has a God complex. Okay. He doesn't believe that he will be judged for the atrocities that he's done. Believe because he's in control. And he says, as for his enemies, he puffeth. I'm not worried about them. Poof, what are they going to do? We got the power. That's the way he is. All right. He says, and because he has the power, he says, he have said in his heart or his mind, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So this wicked nation of people, they just run roughshod, and you can see that now with this with what's going on with this new administration. Just executive orders every day, overrunning the government.
And when you go further into that, puff it up, it's just being swelled up with pride.
Yeah.
Inflated with pride.
Yeah.
So it's like he's doing all these things into the people, and no harm has come unto him.
Yeah. He is
But
not
of course,
in trouble as other men.
He's not in trouble as other men. He has everything at his beck and call, and like the Lord said, it's as if you as one of, what do you say? How it go?
I'll grab it.
Yeah. So he's in this God like complex in his mind that everything that he does, it actually happens. He knows that the wickedness that he's done, and nothing has come back unto him. So let's just build him up in pride. Go, you got it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
This is Psalm chapter 50.
What can an enemy do unto him? Like we know that like he has all the power. There's nothing that we can do against him, and no other nation. That's why the Lord said and we brought out the 2 Thessalonians that he when you go up a verse until he says he will let, the Lord is allowing him to do these things until he take him out of the way. Because again, he said, I have made the wicked, the Lord have made all things, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So it's going to be the time in which he's going to allow him to build up that tab and that pride. Because like he said, in that day, the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. So when he returns, all pride is going to be made low. He that humble himself shall be exalted, but he that
Exalt
himself shall be abased. And
Yep.
that's what he's done.
Yep.
He's exalted himself in a thing in which Yahweh Shai has allowed him. Yahweh Bashim Shai has allowed him to build himself up in. So it's like so he's, again, like you said, he that diggeth a pit, he shall fall therein.
Yep.
He that rolleth a stone, the stone shall fall upon him. You got it?
Yep. It says Psalm chapter 50 and verse 21. It says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
Yeah. So again, he's kept silence because there's the prophecies have to be fulfilled.
Precept.
And now what he's doing, he's telling them, I'm setting the men up right before you, and you can't touch them. Right? So now you got the men on the highways, the byways, doing the video epistles. They're teaching and preaching the coming of the Lord. And when he returns, then he's going to, when that is accomplished, is be fulfilled, then the other portions, one jot, one tittle, right? One iota, like everything, even the smallest points are going to all be fulfilled in his word. And then he's going to return, as far as the prophecies. He's in part of the prophecies, because he is the spirit of prophecy. He's going to return, and he's going to bring down this wicked kingdom.
Yeah, I just wanted to back
Yep,
you up.
go ahead, and then we're going to go back into that. Yeah.
In the article, just to back up on what you were saying, that he set thing in order according to prophecy, and it has to happen in that order. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, verse 37, and it reads, "By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled." So every instance in this world, including every time you blink, had its appointed time to happen. Likewise, so does the rulership of Esau, Edom, and what he has to do to bring, to usher in the new kingdom.
Because he has a bounds that he cannot pass. So of course, his time. That's why it tells you when he's seen the prophets come, out. It says, "Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea." For the devil's coming down unto you, having great wrath, for he knoweth that he hath but a short time. If I, paraphrase that, or did it verbatim, roughly paraphrasing, So he knows that the prophets are out on the streets. There's a scripture you just brought out. It said, "I'm gonna set them up before your eyes." And where are they seeing this on the videos? Teaching and preaching, and that's why all these things that are happening, because of all the wickedness that he was doing. But like we mentioned, bringing back Thessalonians, that the spirit of the prophets had to be revealed of who he was, who Satan shall be revealed by the spirit of his mouth, right? And now that he's being revealed, when all the destruction's happening, the storms, the pestilence, the famines, the mass death, they said this is for the wicked unto destruction. So those that join hand in hand, they're going to fall into it as well. But this is for the wicked, Esau, Edom, and all these things that are happening. The prophets are saying this is why, because for one, you took a peaceable people. In your past, when you thought that you puff it up, you thought that hey, nothing will ever happen. You took pictures, you documented it, everything that you did, because it's going to tell you when we read it, you scalped them. It was children. It was more children than any, right? And we know what the scriptures say about, whoever perished being innocent. But we also understand that you helped forward that affliction upon our people. And because of that, you're going to get your just due. Yeah.
Did you want me to continue the verse?
Yeah, real
Psalms?
quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted 8 in there.
Okay. Psalms 10, verse 7. "His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity."
Yeah, so again, he comes with with the peaceable words, but war is in his mouth. Though his words be smoother than butter, war is in his heart. So everything in which he approached before the masses of people, however he speaks, he dissembleth. What it tells you in Proverbs 6, he dissembleth with his lips. So he comes, but it's all deceit. So he comes with the words speaking beautifully. He's talking one way. They called it a forked tongue. If you look that up real quick. So he's speaking with a forked tongue. So he's speaking and it sounds good, but then the very moment he says, "Hey, we're doing this inclusion," and then before you know it, DEI and all of that's being all destroyed. Or he's talking about the very moment he starts to sign executive orders saying we need to get these start to deport in ICE, but then it's been mainly the tribes, the Northern Kingdom tribes being greatly affected by it. When you had thousands, like Elder Malcolm brought out, you had thousands of others, and you've made the point as to why. But you have other immigrants and those who migrated. Actually, just now I came across something where it was stated that Trump was actually, and I know it's like going too, I don't go too far, but Trump had mentioned that he's going to start the so-called whites that were in Africa,
South Africa,
Africa, he's
Yeah.
going to start to allow them to seek refuge here in the Americas.
along with the Ukrainians.
Exactly. So now you're going to see that's causing division. The scriptures talk about that there's going to be a thing because you're dealing with them a certain way, the Northern Kingdom a certain way, the Hispanic tribes, but then you are dealing with another people who you're more closely tied to a certain way. And so they're showing that division. The scriptures talk about that and that infighting, amongst the people. So it's just, these are also part of the prophecies. But let's get back to the slide.
Okay. Psalms chapter 10, verse 8. And it reads, He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor.
So now that's the point. When we go back into the read, right? But I want to get this real quick. Proverbs chapter 1, verses, and I'm going to read it really quick. Verses 10, he says, My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, Come with us and lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Right. So they had no dog in the fight. They was trying to keep things neutral. We don't want no parts of any of y'all fighting. We don't even believe in fighting. We want to be at peace. This is the mindset of Esau Edom.
Yeah.
It says, let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. He says, we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. So they split them up, and of course you probably, they didn't go into detail, but we can imagine that they probably seen some nice looking women and young children amongst them and did their way, because they scalped the men and they separated them, and they probably did what they wanted to with the women and young children and little boys, and then you had the men on the other side and did whatever you wanted with them. The power was in his hand to do so. And so, of course, they probably cast like, hey, I want her, I want him, hey, I could use, right? And then whatever substance they had, they split it amongst them, We can kind of, because that's the mindset of them, right? The land, oh, this is nice land, right? Because, again, they covet fields and take them by violence. This is just what they do whenever they come. The Lord said, John 10:10, the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. So what more when he comes, right? He says, but I come that you should have life and have it more abundantly. So when Yahushua comes, he's going to give the true children of Israel, the elect, starting with 144,000, then the innumerable multitude, life and life abundantly, where there will be peace and no war. All right.
But we got to keep in mind too, this is the U.S. against the British. So these are pretty much Edomites against Edomites.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were looking to take them out. This is Sirach 14:5. It says, He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. So the thing is, if they evil to each other, they trying to fulfill that long-lasting attitude, that perpetual hatred that they had towards Jake. He would not take pleasure in his goods. They could have had them as servants, spared their lives, whatever. But no, they slaughtered them.
Yeah, let's continue that reading.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Back to the read. This is going back to the article. It says, informed of the impending execution, the captured indigenous people spent the night praying and singing hymns. The next day, the militiamen bludgeoned them to death and scalped them. Children made up the largest group among those killed. The militiamen then burned the bodies together with the village. Only 2 children escaped alive. The Gnadenhutten massacre has been called the greatest atrocity of the Revolutionary War. When the U.S. Congress learned of the incident, it ordered an investigation. However, the investigation was soon called off due to the concerns an inquiry would produce a confusion and ill will amongst the people. What's that say? Call for an investigation. They say that's the same spirit today with these Edomite cops and their whole system. We've investigated ourselves and not found a problem. That's the same thing they do today. Okay, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. All right, Zechariah 11:5.
Yeah. Well, anything?
Yep.
Well, listen to this here. It's
Okay,
the
come.
book of Galatians, chapter 6, verses 7 and 8. It says, "Be not deceived, the Most High Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." So the things that he's putting out into the world, things you put out into the world, whether it be as a nation or as a people, a person, you know, you're going to receive a recompense, a payback. It says, "For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption," and that's what this was an example of. It says, "But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting," and that would be of course, the elect that's sowing to the Spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, believing in his word and sticking to it to the best of their ability, you know, with this true faith in Yahushai. So if there's nothing else, all right. So we like to end by giving first and foremost all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. And we hope that, again, that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting, or alarming of some sort to the elect body of true believers. But before we end, we'd like to all say Shalom.
Shalom.